I did want to ask you, because I've seen the clip circulating. I think NASCAR Man retweeted it this week, and I wish I had seen it and been reminded of it before last week's show. And by the way, I'm so grateful that we are doing this show tonight, because can you imagine, with everything we had to talk about the last show, going over 2 hours, if we tried to squeeze in our final
and also the finale? Yes, no, impossible.
Been a 3.5, maybe even 4 hour show. Who knows? And we still didn't even get to everything we wanted to, which is why we're following up again tonight. But have you seen the comparison that NBC used? And keep in mind, this is 2004. And they say going from the Winston Cup era to the chase from a NASCAR Nextel Cup is kind of like going from vinyl to CD. Where are we now in 2025? It's, the last couple of years, 23, 24, for the first time in a very long time, technology has continued to change and evolve, but certain things start coming back into style. And, well, wouldn't you know, vinyl is outselling CDs.
Whoa.
Who would have thought it?
Seems like people revert back to what they remember, or, they like going back to nostalgic things. Is that what I'm picking up here, Ben?
Man, I guess so.
Nostalgia sells, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what does that say? If that's the analogy that we're using, people enjoyed CDs for a while. They were the new cool thing, but there's just something about the old technology, man, that keeps people coming back. Sometimes going backwards in time doesn't mean you're taking the sport backwards. Is it maybe time to consider going back to a full season points format like the overwhelming majority of motorsports series all around the world use?
That's what I'm saying. It was a good idea at the time for NBC to do something like that, because, to have that sort of segment, because, let's be real, CDs were booming in 2004. And so it just made sense to promote the new format that just came out, which had its positive sides, but it also showed the wear and tear of, hey, this is more of a regression than it is going to something a little more pure, or, telling of who your champion is. But I will go back to, we cannot decide our champion by a blown tire and an overtime restart. Yeah. Just horrific. That's not the way these things can end. And, one good finish, or, one good finish to a season can't make you go, see, look, it's working. See the format working? Like, not quite so.
Friday night.
Yeah,
Corey Heim, right?
Yeah,
Everybody
you did.
Saying, hey, you got your deserving champion who was supposed to win, and you got the thrilling 7-wide pass. It doesn't happen if there's no playoff format.
But it shouldn't be we shouldn't have to have a sigh of relief. We should have a, yes, there it is. There's your champion. It was no, he almost didn't take it. It was almost near disaster. And I don't know, we've talked about these things ad nauseum, but it's one last hurrah on it. Yeah. And yes, the Cup Series champion did score the most points, did earn the most points in this system. Yes, he did in this particular year. But you can go back to 2024 and find the exact opposite of what should be happening, where the lowest place scoring finisher in the standings in history ends up taking the title. All legitimate champions, but man, is it not the right way to do it. And it's not that the Latver system is not perfect. We're not saying go back to that, but your video was spot on, Ben, about this. Looking at the polls that were done on X, and look, you even going back through the history of these polls with Gluck and I think Toby Christie, right?
Yeah, well, Toby Christie ran the one now that's
his current one. Yeah, and we've seen those numbers. It's not like a little sample size either. And I was thinking about this today. It's not a little sample size. It's like over 10,000. It's and not to be a meme, but it's over 9,000. It's over 10,000. It's a great sample size. And also another thing, Ben, it's the demographic that's on X, formerly known as Twitter. Is that not the demographic that NASCAR is searching after? Is that not the one?
I'd imagine it's a younger demo than if you go over to Facebook or go, to the TV ratings or whatever.
Yeah. Is that not the demographic that you've been changing your format in order to pander towards it's not working out. I mean, take a look at the NASCAR Cup Series championship stage this championship weekend and okay, look at that stage and then look at the crowd of people standing around. It doesn't, Sydney Sweeney up there, whatever her name is, and all that, it doesn't match the crowd, frankly, that's watching there in person. And it just doesn't make sense. Why you see who your fan base is. Why would you try to pander towards something that it's not? And you've had long enough to figure it out. You've had over 10 years of this experiment, or up to 15 now, of this experiment of trying to reach towards that fan base that you think exists. That's not there.
You know, and I just can't believe, you know, talking about what happened the next night on Saturday. Again, just going back to Brock's stream earlier, it is bad enough that Connor Zilisch didn't win the Drivers' Championship. It's even worse in my mind, considering what Kyle Larson did in that 88 car and Parker Kligerman did in that 88 car as well. The 88 team, it's just as egregious that they're not the owners' champions, all because he only had a third place car. What a tragedy. He only got a podium finish in the last race. But he didn't shine when the lights were the brightest, Brandon. I guess that's why he's not the champion this year.
We've got a bright light problem in auto racing in America. Well, in the stock car realm in America, which is supposed to be the pinnacle and deciding the true champion, which it's a little corrupt right now.
And we also have an overtime problem. That's why I'm glad Alex is in the chat here as well, because I know he was saying this on the Gay Racing podcast this week too. Overtime, I'm not going to go as far as he did to say it's worse than any playoff format NASCAR's come up with, but I will say it's just as responsible for the tragedy that we got on Sunday.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen if there's no overtime, then the race just ends. And Denny Hamlin, after making that move to win the race and the championship, what should have been winning the race and the championship, the race just ends. I think we would have felt fulfilled. I think we would have felt like we did. I was born in 1999, but how the majority of fans felt in 1998 when Dale Earnhardt finally won the Daytona 500. This would have been in Denny Hamlin's 20th, ironically enough, full-time year in the Cup Series. How fitting would that have been? Unfortunately,
a positive.
Denny Hamlin fans will never know.
Yeah, a positive for those that are pro Game 7 winner take all format the way it is now, which is apparently 3% on that poll, which I don't know where you are at 3.2. I don't know where you are anymore. You sound like the minority now, but you know, to their credit, like I forgot where I was going with that. That's par for the course for this show. All the times that I forgot where I was going. Well, yeah, no, I got it. Okay, so yeah, if you took away overtime, that would solve a lot of the problems. You know, you could keep the format you have now, and if you took overtime away, it would solve a lot of the issues that we've been having. To their credit.
Well, Matthew Owens says here, Connor had the lead with 30 to go. All he had to do was hold the lead. I don't know, man. All he had to do was everything that he did all year, the most dominant season we've ever seen, 18 straight
10 wins.
10 wins. Leads every statistical. I don't know. I mean, I get it. It's the system that we have. He had the opportunity, but I don't think Jesse Love should have had the same opportunity at that point in the year based on how their seasons have done. Something against Jesse Love. He did what he had to do with the system he was given. But I think there's a reason why you've seen so much of an outcry this year, and reason why the system's going to be changing.
You should not see champions have to feel like they have to apologize for taking the championship.
Yes.
Well, that's unnatural. That doesn't happen anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, and again, and Alex talking about this on his show last week as well. Like the idea that we can come away from the discussion saying, oh, Kyle Larson, yeah, he won the championship, but he's got to be a little bit better next year in order to defend it. Well, in what world should we be having that conversation about our champions, right? And Alex adding here, Denny had a 3-second lead with 3 to go and lost because of tire issue that was present all race long. So there's that part of it too. I'm going to catch up on the chat here, and then we're going to bring Matthew Bro in as we continue the final episode of Grid Encore here tonight. I want to say hi to Casey again. Casey, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for your contributions to this show.
Thank you so much, Casey. Yeah,
forever grateful to be part of this show, and wish you both the best of luck in wherever you land. And same to you, brother, as well. We appreciate that. Alex saying here the NBC CD vinyl clip is hilarious. It certainly is. I think in hindsight, especially 21 years later. And Crystal adding as well, most people argue vinyl is better quality than CD, much like a 36 race season, better quality than a chase. And I see Tanner in our private chat, I believe, dropped a really good line here. Let's see. Compared to a record. No, that's not the one. Where was it? There was something. Okay, here we go. Unfortunately, in compacting the disc, it impacted the quality. I like that.
Right. And as far as vinyl goes, like, it can sound as good as you're willing to pay for what plays it. That's how that goes.
Yeah. There you go.